Hello everyone, welcome to episode 2 of Histories. And this one, we're not going to be going over any type of dead teenagers or anything. We will be going over a Dark Lord, and I can already hear the sound of my street cred disappearing as we speak. In this episode, we will be going over Vecna, the Undying King of Dungeons & Dragons fame. Now, this is going to be kind of crazy in the sense of I'm going to be summarizing some things, but it's like a lot to fit in. So let's get started. Vecna the Undying King is Dungeons and Dragons' monster at the end of the book. They're Thanos. He was created in 1976 by Brian Bloom during a play test of the Greyhawk campaign. Fun fact, his name is an anagram for the writer Jack Vance, whose fantasy book series were a inspiration for D&D's magic system. His hand and eye being two legendary items in D&D lore that grants users legendary power but corrupts their characters, appeared in the first edition of Eldritch Wizardry. Now, for any D&D super fans that stumble across this video, I will admit some of my research may not line up. I'm just getting into D&D, so please don't kill me. So he was in the first edition of Advanced D&D. He was nothing more than a legend stripped of all of his powers and abilities, and basically was a whispering voice that threatened people to, about using his hand and his eye. Basically just an old man saying, "Get off my lawn," over and over again. But he made his first actual appearances as a villain in the campaigns Vecna Lives, Die, Vecna Die, and another one that is currently escaping me right now. But in these three campaigns, he first appeared, tried to take over Greyhawk. He was betrayed by Kos, his legendary right-hand man, who then they were both banished to another realm, Kos becoming a vampire, and Vecna being kind of a overlord. Over time, after Advanced D&D and into D&D, Edition 3 and D&D 4, he was obsessed with becoming a god. So you would have to stop Vecna from trying to become a god. And at the end of those campaigns, he eventually gets himself into what would be known as the low-level pantheon, as kind of I think it was the god of death. So he becomes the god of death and tries to block out other gods within the D&D pantheon from being worshipped, and then you have to stop him. And in D&D 5, which is where we're at now, but from the rumblings within the D&D community, we're not going to be there for long. He is a part of what is known as the Dawn Pantheon, and earlier on in D&D 5, you saw these black obelisks popping up alluding to him, and he was rebooted more to keep him fresh due to the character getting some type of crossover appeal. And this is where I wanted to touch on. So you had 3 minutes of D&D explanations. We didn't go a lot into it, kind of like the Jason Todd episode, but in the show Stranger Things, which is loosely based off old D&D campaigns, you have a villain named One who is psychic, like the main character 11. I will admit, I have not seen Stranger Things, so most of this is coming from my own research. And he becomes the show's version of Vecna. After being banished to the Upside Down, his psychic powers kind of strengthening and gaining a monstrous appearance. He's played by Jamie Campbell Bower. So that is Vecna outside of D&D. Overall, to kind of deliver a brief summary here of Vecna, he is one of the first major examples from what I can find of the legendary villain archetype. So you have someone who is this legendary Dark Lord that, now decades worth of D&D players know about, and he's, someone that was created, the character itself was created in 1976 and is still popular to this very day. And overall, his campaigns are legendary. Like in the D&D world, you've had spin-offs like Critical Role, which is a series of people playing Dungeons and Dragons. They used the character Vecna, adding minor tweaks and stuff to his lore, and overall, like, just made the character grow more and more in popularity, where now it's just, in the role-playing community, that's just a character you know about. So, in summary, I've been John from Bleeding Heart. You guys have been awesome. See you all soon. Bye-bye.